Hey, hey. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all doing well. This is Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach. I want to say good morning to y'all. I hope y'all doing well. I'm bringing a video to y'all this morning. This is something that I actually woke up with this morning. So I woke up like this. So I want to make sure that I brought this video to y'all this morning. And this video is all about how you're raising your kids. And of course, as the title, social worker coach. Of course, I'm a social worker and a life and relationship coach. And like I said, I definitely want to start bringing out some more things that I see, I guess I put it that way, when it comes to the social worky side of things. I guess I put it that way. And life coaching as well. So like I said, definitely this video is all about how you're raising your kids. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I know a lot of times, at least I've said a lot of times, of course, parents are the child's first teachers and all those types of things. But besides that, I see a lot of parents. I'm not a biological parent. I'm a godparent of three kids. My partner has a young teen daughter that I, of course, help them parent, that kind of thing as well. And a lot of times, of course, not just them, but of course, across the board, I see a lot of parents, of course, or just a lot of people talking about how there's no good men, there's no good women, all this kind of stuff in the world when it does come to relationships. But it all goes back to how you're raising your kids, to me. And like I said, definitely that's something that we definitely have to think about, not just about the relationship part, but about the relationship with you and your kids too. How you're raising your kids. Are you telling the kids the things that you know about life and love and sex and relationships and all those types of things, finances and all those types of things? Or are you just letting them just go out in the world and expect the school to teach them? Are you expecting the church to teach them, or whoever you're expecting to teach them? It always comes back to the household. Like I said, that's what I've always said since first became a social worker back in 1999. It all comes back to the household. There's no way that the school can only teach your child so much. The church can only teach your child so much. You're the one who has to instill the character, integrity, all those types of things as well. And there's some stuff on this list too. I have 5 things to go over. But like I said, it all starts with the parent. And I know there's a lot of parents, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, this kind of thing. I see this happen all the time. But I'm raising some because I raised many other people's kids as well. Not just my god kids and that kind of thing, but I've raised other kids growing up and that kind of thing as a teen as well. That weren't none of mine, but still I was given the kids to raise because the adults couldn't raise them. I guess I put it that way. So, like I said, how you're raising your kids. I got 5 things I want to go over this morning. 5 things for you to think about. I guess I put it that way, so that you're going to help the next generation grow into better adults. I guess I put it that way. I know this whole month last month of January, I was talking about how the year is going. I'm starting this whole year talking about being a better people, being a better person, and this can, of course, help you be a better person, and it can help your kids grow up to be better people too. So, like I said, we definitely have to think about that when we're talking about our kids, or even if you don't have any kids, even if you're working like me, a social worker or psychologist or a therapist or I don't know, school teacher, or you have kids, stepchildren, whatever it is. Like I said, you definitely have to realize that we are the child's first teachers. And we have to, of course, assist in raising those kids. Especially if I do want to say this too, because I know some parents in the household working, some parents are on drugs. I had parents on drugs and there was domestic violence, all types of stuff going on. I know there's other parents who are other kids who are living like that as well. And sometimes it takes somebody outside of that household to help raise that kid up. I guess I put it that way. And thank you all for tuning in. Is it my area, Atlanta, I think? Brian Johnson and Richard, thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you're doing well. And let me go ahead and get into this. The first one. I know everybody may not believe in God or believe in spirituality or whatever you do, but if for those who do, this is for you. Because I, of course, believe in God and that kind of thing, and the foundation of God or some type of whatever you have for in your household, whether it's a religion or a spirituality or whatever it is, just making sure that you have that type of foundation in your household. I know a lot of times we, of course, go through our life doing all types of things. And it's not just reading the Bible. It's not just looking at those things. It's not just saying that all these little catchy quotes or I'm blessed and highly favored and all this kind of stuff. It's actually living that lifestyle. That's one thing. Even though I didn't believe in God back when I was growing up at all, I understood that there were 10 commandments. I knew that because I did, of course, was in church and was going to church with my great-great-grandmom and stuff like that. Even though I didn't believe in it, or even as an adult, I didn't really start believing in God until I'm 46, about 5 years ago. Maybe it was 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. But I knew that we had to, in my mind, still follow those 10 commandments, whether I believed in it or not. Well, I guess believe in the God figure or not. I knew that those 10 commandments were some things that we had to live by in order to create a better society and better people. Even if that's all you do, it can still create a better household, a better person, and better kids you're raising. But having that foundation, even though the kids, we all know when kids become teenagers, when they become young adults, going to college, hanging out with the friends, that kind of thing, that they may stray from that, but trust and believe they'll always, most times, return back to that foundation. I understand that, of course, because some kids get hooked on drugs or drink or whatever it is that's going on. The parents don't like it, or they're doing something else, committing crimes or those kind of things. For a majority of those kids that grew up with that type of foundation, most of them return back to it or something close to it. I guess I put it that way. They won't forget what you taught them. They won't forget whatever kind of knowledge you instilled in them when it came to the Bible or God or your religion or your spirituality. They normally don't forget that. Most people fall by the wayside. Even I did. I'm sure you did as well. There's a lot of folks who do, but you usually return back to that, especially if that's how you were raised. But in my mind, of course, being raised with a foundation of God, or a foundation, at least even if it's those 10 commandments, at least you will have something to follow your life by. That's creating the character, that's creating the integrity, that's creating better people. I guess I put it that way. Honest people as well, if that's the only thing that you live by. But like I said, we have to teach that to our youth. Where else are they going to get that from? Yes, you can go to church. Yes, you can go to school. They may not teach on those particular commandments or that kind of thing, or the things that you want to instill in your children. You have to start with that foundation so that you can teach them as well. There is no reason why you cannot. Like I said, unless you don't believe in that kind of thing, that's up to you. Teach them whatever kind of good values you can. But like I said, for those who do believe in God or some kind of spirituality or have some type of religious base, make sure that you're instilling that in your children as well. I do want to say one caveat, because I know it's the back of my mind that there are some cults. I guess I put it that way. I'm not saying raise your kids like cults. I know some folks are actually abused that way and things like that. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about the good old hometown religion. I guess I put it that way. Or spirituality, or the belief in God, or the belief in Bible, or in the Bible, whatever it is that you believe in. Like I said, just instilling the goodness into your kids to give them that strong foundation. Number 2. Now, this is talking about the teaching of our boys and girls. I guess I put it that way. I know when I was growing up, I was the only girl cousin. I shoot for like 20 some years in my family. So of course I was around the males all the time, that kind of thing. And that's who I hung around as well. All the boys, the guys in the neighborhood, that kind of thing. I did have one or two female friends that was really about it, but everybody else was boys. I guess I put it that way. Boys and young guys and stuff like that. And a lot of times we, of course, teach our young boys all the other things. I guess like how to fix tires and how to do the cars and how to mow the grass, which that is fine. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's not good. But if you want to raise children and you want to see people in relationships where the man can actually take care of a household, wash the dishes and know how to clean up, know how to mop the floor, clean the bathroom, know how to cook and do all these things, you have to start teaching your young boys those things. It's not gay because I heard I'm growing up, oh, he's gay because he knows how to cook and all this kind of stuff. That don't mean anything about because a person knows how to cook. The only thing it means is that they know how to take care of themselves if they have no woman or no partner. Instead of going about fast food, doing all this stuff. If they can cook a decent meal, a healthy meal at home and won't have to go pay for it, that's all that means. It does not mean that anybody's gay because he washes dishes or something else. Women talk about it all the time, how they talk about men and how the men don't cook or clean or do all these things, or they don't want to help in the household, all this type of stuff. We have to raise our boys to do those things. Men can do the same thing as well. Granted, I know there's some men out there who do not want to do it and think it's just a woman's job, but it's both of y'all's job if you stay in the household together. I want to say that as well. But just know that all those basic skills, you have to teach your sons those things too. And getting to the girls, teaching the girls, of course, cooking, cleaning, that's kind of how we're raised, to take care of the house. Like I said, the boys can do it too. But like I said, the girls are usually raised like that. But start teaching your daughters how to change a tire or how to do those simple things. They don't have to pick the whole engine out, that kind of thing, which I've done that before with the past partner, but still. Everybody doesn't know how to do that, but teaching those basics, the same things you teach the boys, how to change a tire, how to change the oil, those type of things, you can teach your young girls too. She's not going to turn up to be a lesbian, because I've heard that as well. Like I said, all these damn stereotypes is what keep folks from teaching their kids all these types of things that these kids need to know, so they can grow up to be better partners, so they can grow up and be better people in order to take care of themselves. We have to start instilling and teaching these things, y'all. School is not 9 times out of 10. Sometimes they do have those, what they call extracurricular activity classes, all that type of stuff. Sometimes the girls will go into that. Sometimes they won't. But if not, you need to make sure you're teaching those things. Number 3. Now this is mostly about the boys and the emotions. A lot of times growing up, of course, I heard my own family, friends, the environment I was in. Oh, the little boy that fell down, want to cry, I guess started crying, all these kind of things. He getting punched in the chest, oh, stop crying, you ain't no fag, and all this type of stuff. Yes, I did say something derogatory, I understand that, but that's what I heard. And like I said, definitely, that was definitely not the right thing to do at all. Boys can cry just like girls can cry. Boys have, and men have feelings too, just like girls and women have feelings. He's not going to be gay and the F word, the fag word, all this kind of stuff because he's crying. That's one thing that we have got to understand when it comes to raising these boys. And then these boys grow up to be young men and they can't even express themselves. They don't know all they know how to do is be angry. And I hope y'all not taking this the wrong way with those derogatory words, but that's what I heard growing up. A lot, actually. But like I said, we have got to start raising our boys to know that they can cry and that they have feelings as well. That they hurt the same as a woman or a young girl hurts. But like I said, we all want to complain about these men out here and all these types of things, like how they don't show emotion, how they, I don't know, don't show love and whatever it is. They can't show anything but anger, but nobody has taught them how to show anything else besides that. We have to start raising our young boys different and let them cry. They're not going to be gay because they cry. I used to hear that all the time, at least once a week, trust me. And it was ridiculous. I'm like, are you serious? Boys can cry just like girls hurt too, the same thing. And talking about emotions and feelings, for both of our kids, we have got to start teaching them a wide range of emotions, y'all. Like I said, not just the anger in the boys and not just the girls can cry and this kind of thing. We need to start teaching them what happiness look like, what it means to laugh, what it means to feel good, what it means to, I don't know, to be frustrated, what those words mean, what it means to be overwhelmed, all those types of words, y'all. There is not just one type of feeling in this world. There is probably, I don't know how many, I didn't research though, but I'm sure there's more than about 20, I'm sure. You can get anxious, you can get frustrated, you can be happy, you can be joyful. Teach them what those words mean and what it looks like. No one will, you raising, I guess, the kids and that kind of thing. Like I said, I've instilled instilled as best as I can into my god kids and the kids that I've always worked with, I guess, in the field of social work. But we have got to start instilling these things to show them that there's more than one emotions. There's little charts that you can actually print out that gives like a happy face, a sad face, and all those types of things to teach, I guess, to start teaching your kids emotions. Like I said, the women got the emotions and ran with it, I guess, but the guys are stuck behind, still can't, I'm not saying that all of them, I'm not saying all men, but there's a lot who cannot express any emotion past getting frustrated or angry. And that's what us women see, I guess I put it that way. And like I said, we have to start teaching them that it's okay to express, I'm hurt, I'm sad. It's okay to look, I guess, to be happy and those types of things as well. Like I said, we've got to start teaching about the feelings and the emotions. It'll give them words to, of course, to tell you how they're feeling and what they're going through. And I know that I was a woman, like I said, that grew up around a lot of guys all the time, actually. And I picked up on their behaviors and that kind of thing. I was not able to, of course, to cry. I thought it was weak and all this kind of stuff. I had to learn those things too. So I know there's other women out there who've been through those kind of things as well, who are emotionless or can't express emotion or can't be empathetic. And there's men the same way. We have to start talking about the emotions and sharing these emotions with our kids, y'all, in order for them to, of course, to gain that vocabulary, for one, and then to, of course, to express how they feel with things. They'll be better in relationships. I don't care if it's romantic or not, even if it's their employer, if it's their best friends, that kind of thing. They'll be better to show how they feel. Instead of just hollering, yelling, getting upset, throwing stuff, walking off, that kind of thing. I used to do that too, as a woman. Men do it too, but I did that as a woman as well. And I'm sure there's others. But we have got to start talking about these emotions and these feelings, y'all. So we can have other words to express to our partners, our best friends, our job, or how we feeling. So number 4. Now this, I know a lot of parents, I've talked to parents, I guess I put it that way as well, but we have got to start teaching the kids about, our bodies and their bodies. So if it's a young boy, start teaching him about his body, what the body parts are, how they function, and how they work, what puberty is, where he's going to have hair. Although not saying when he's 2 years old, he's not going to understand at 2 years old. But once he starts getting older, understanding the words, understanding vocabulary, first, second grade, third grade, start teaching the kids about their bodies, y'all. This is your arm, this is your breast, this is your leg, this is your vagina, this is your penis, all those types of things. We as parents we know what the body parts are. We know what puberty looks like. We know that they start going hair up on the arms, in the pubic area, on the legs, all this type of stuff. Why we're not telling our kids these things? We know they're going to have hormones. We hormones that's going to be up and down, making them sometimes depressed or sometimes causing them to be extra happy or whatever it is, or anxious or that kind of thing. We know that going through high school, going through puberty, all this kind of stuff, we feel awkward. Well, not all of us, but some of us feel awkward. We know those feelings. Start teaching your kids about those things. Don't just leave them out there in the way when they have no idea what's going on. The school only teaches them like 1 hour in the 4th or 5th grade. That's it. Scaring them half to death about some damn abstinence. I don't believe, well, I'm not saying that I don't believe in abstinence, but we all know that kids have hormones. And Richard, thank you for saying that as well about consent. But we all know that kids have hormones and that they're going to experiment with the opposite sex or whatever they like. I guess I put it that way. We have got to start teaching them the right things to do. I guess I put it that way. How to protect themselves as well. There's many kids having sex at 11 and 12 years old. And I know many parents are not talking to their kids about the birds and the bees or anything at that age. Kids are feeling on each other, experimenting with each other, having oral sex with each other at that age. I've heard of many. Most kids nowadays not waiting until they're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, that kind of thing. They're having sex a lot earlier and experimenting a lot earlier, thanks to the music and I guess TV and all this other kind of stuff. But we have to start instilling these things in our kids and teaching them about their body, the feelings, all that type of stuff as well. And Richard talked about consent. And actually, before I get to that, let me say one more thing about the periods in our young ladies. We all know the young ladies are going to start their periods at it's earlier now. It was like later teens or like mid-teens, that kind of thing. Now with, I guess, I'm pretty sure the hormones in the food, it's 10, 11, 12. The girls are starting their periods then too. We have got to start talking to our kids way before 10, 11, 12 years old about what changes they're going to have in their bodies. You can keep it, of course, age appropriate, but still we have to start teaching these things. Otherwise, they're going to school, come on that period, like, oh my God, what's going on? The school, they haven't got the 5th grade yet because that's when you get the 1 little hour class about your body. We need to start teaching these things when they're 1st, 2nd grade, y'all, seriously. I know there's a lot of parents out there who disagree, but how are your kids doing as they get older? I put it that way. Just look at that. And how did that work for you? We have a different generation of kids who have more access to, or have all this access to, everything online, all this social media, all YouTube, all these movies and all the stuff on Netflix and all this kind of stuff, where they're talking about all these things and seeing the folks experiment with stuff, and they want to go experiment. So we have to start talking about these things when they start 1st grade, y'all. That's how I look at that. Well, my goddaughter, I started talking to her before she even started 1st grade. We're going to learn what the vagina is, the correct word. We're going to learn what the breasts are, the correct word, not no pocketbooks and all these slang term as names. They need to know the exact name for their body part, y'all. Because I've seen that over and over again. Teach the kids what they are. And Richard, I want to get back to what you said about the consent. You have to teach your kids about consent as well. And like I said, thank you, Richard, for saying that. Telling the young ladies that if they're saying no to a young guy, that they can, of course, stop the sex or whatever else and walk away. Attempt to, I guess I put it that way, because we know some young boys get upset and want to start hitting or try to force somebody, rape them, that kind of thing. You have to teach your young women and your young men about consent. It's their bodies. They don't have to agree to anything because somebody's peer pressuring them. They don't have to agree to doing any of those things. We have to teach our young boys that it's not okay just to go ahead and take it because she's is already in the bed with you. If she's saying no, it's no. But whatever turned her off or whatever it was, if she's saying no, it's no. Otherwise, it's rape. We have to start talking to our kids like that. Otherwise, they have no idea what the hell going on, or I took it anyway because she was sitting in the bed, but she's going home telling her parents that you raped her. Now what? We have got to start talking to our kids, not just the boys, but the girls too, about these things. And thank you again, Richard, for saying that, because I know some parents are uncomfortable with talking about it. I know that. But how do you expect to raise some kids to instill these things in them when you're uncomfortable talking about it? I know that's why I talk about the things I talk about when it comes to the relationship, the life coaching, the sex, and all that type of stuff. That's why I talk about those things a lot. And then some videos I've actually said that please teach your kids. All the things I talk about, you can learn yourself. You can take the courses or whatever you want to do. I have them in the link in the bio on Instagram and the link in the description on Facebook. Take the courses and get the words yourself so that you can start teaching your kids. And of course, always do your own research too. There's books that you can buy. I don't have it in front of me. I wish I would have put it up here. But there are books that you can buy to help teach your kids as well about their body and sex and consent, all these types of things, finances as well. Even though this wasn't about finances, but that is one thing to teach your kids as well. But like I said, I know there's parents out there who don't want to, who are scared to teach these kind of things because they weren't taught to them or they feel uncomfortable. I understand that if you can't teach it, find some other adult that can. Even if it's my video or somebody else's video, you find somebody else who can teach your child. If you're so scared to do it. But you got to understand that you don't know what them folks are teaching your kid. You need to be there while they're talking to them too. As adults, we have to get off this. I'm so scared to say this to my kid. You raising these kids. What do you expect for them to learn? If you're scared to say it, then somebody else going to either show them in the wrong way or say it to them in the wrong way out there in the world as well. Or teach them something that you don't even want them to know. So you teach your kids. We got to get off that, y'all. Like I said, that's why I talk about what I talk about. When it comes to love, sex, relationships, how to love yourself, how to figure out who you are, all those types of things are greatly important. And like I said, we cannot continue raising a generation of kids if they have no idea what's going on. They don't find out until they reach, her friend or hear something on YouTube or the other school talk about it in that 1 hour class talking about sex. And they're like, my mother never told me this, or the girl all of a sudden comes on her period at school and has no idea what's going on. We have got to start instilling this stuff and talking about these things. Let me go ahead and get to number 5, y'all. Number 5, teaching your kids how to be good people. I guess they have good character and integrity. I know a lot of times I'm going back to the foundation of God. The 10 Commandments, if that's all you teach your kids, that teaches about integrity and character. But we have got to start teaching these things, y'all. Teaching them how to be honest and not tell lies. Teaching them how to, of course, think before they act. Teaching them how to not just do something, doing things in the dark that they will not do in the light. I guess I put it that way. Being people who are not honest and those types of things. We have to start instilling those things from a little kid on up. And that means you're listening to what they have to tell you. And not just blowing them off and this kind of thing. Listen to what they have to tell you. They're people too. They have things they want to express too and get out too. And don't just tell them, oh, it's not right and this kind of thing. Process it with them. Teach them some better character, y'all. Teach them some good character and integrity. And like I said, those 10 Commandments are the only things that you teach. Then just teach that then. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, it's still things to teach. You don't go sleep with your neighbor's wife and all this type. It's the same thing that people out here cheating, doing all kind of stuff. If you want to just teach them that, just teach them those. Those are things that will teach them good character and integrity. But we have to start understanding that if we're not teaching these things at home, once they get out into the world trying to get friends and trying to get girlfriends and boyfriends and get married, all this kind of stuff, all these things that I just went over, if you haven't taught them these things, they're going to have a hell of a hard time trying to have a relationship with other people. I guess I put it that way. A meaningful relationship with other people. A happy relationship with other people. We have got to start teaching them these things, y'all. So like I said, I want to bring this video to y'all this morning. Richard, I know you said some other things, but I know I got to get going, but I will read them later and respond to you later as well. So definitely thank you for being on here live. And for those, Celeste and Michael, thank you for being on here as well. And like I said, the others, going back up, y'all. I'm trying to get back up here. I don't know where they at, Lord. Okay, I can't. Okay, my area, Atlanta, and Brian. I think it says up there. Thank you all for tuning in. And like I said, this is your girl Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach. And like I said, you're going to get more videos like this from me as well. But because I know that a lot of these things that I've seen professionally and of course personally, they can be taught and they can be instilled, y'all. It's in ourselves first. Of course, we have to know it first as parents. And as those who are working with our youth and young adults, but then we have to start teaching these things as well. How do we expect for these folks to grow up? The internet and online cannot teach them everything that they need to know. If you have values, beliefs in your household, start teaching those things. Otherwise, your kids are going to grow up wild, have no idea, have no manners, no nothing else going on. Just having sex with anybody, raping folks, anything. We have to start teaching folks stuff, y'all. Otherwise, they will not know these things. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Like I said, definitely take care of y'all. If y'all have any other comments y'all want to put down here, definitely do so. And thank you, GG Sis, for tuning in. I hope that you're doing well. But y'all take care of y'all and have a great day. And like I said, if you know somebody that's a parent, make sure that you share this with them or tag them in this video, y'all. Because these are some things they may need to hear as well that they may need some help around doing. So with that, I want to say take care of y'all. Have a great day. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.